Blackhawks dropped the second night of a back-to-back to the Avalanche. 4-1 is the final, and this was really a game dominated by the Avalanche, especially in the first and third periods. I actually thought the second period for the Blackhawks, they battled pretty well. They had a fair amount of scoring chances in that second frame, but overall, the Avalanche definitely controlled this one. I did think the Blackhawks played well in that second, but still overall scoring chances 42-16 in favor of the Avalanche. High danger scoring chances 17-8 in favor of Colorado. That's per natural stat trick. Might even be updated in a few minutes, and maybe there's even more for the Avalanche, but that's what it said at the final buzzer. Shots on goal 49-20 in favor of Colorado. So this was really a game that the Avalanche just controlled, kind of what you would expect. The Blackhawks coming back in from Minnesota. They played in Minnesota last night, coming back to Chicago to play the best team in the league. This was going to be a tough task. Arvid really kept the Blackhawks in this game. He made a few fantastic saves and really prevented this one from being a total blowout. The score is at least respectable. The Avalanche being able to bury 2 power play goals, not something you see the Blackhawks penalty kill give up too much, but that was the case tonight. Avalanche being able to do that really made this a pretty easy win for them, considering how long they controlled play in this game. There were a few chances for the Blackhawks that they generated. Connor Bedard set Andre Burakovsky up on a breakaway in the first period. Burakovsky was not able to bury. I'm going to talk about the lines in a little bit here. Artem Levshinov had a third period breakaway as well that he was not able to capitalize on. The Blackhawks did score in this game, though. It was Wyatt Kaiser picking up his 6th goal of the season off a rush play. He kind of just snuck down the middle, right down the center lane, got behind the defense. Ryan Green made a beautiful saucer pass to get the puck to Kaiser, and Kaiser finished through the 5 hole. So that was a nice goal for Kaiser. Great to see him pick up another one. He leads all Blackhawks defensemen in goals this season. The Blackhawks had a couple posts in this game, as well as I think Frank Nazar had one in the second period. There was at least 1 or 2 more throughout this game. So the Blackhawks did generate a few chances, but those numbers that I read off earlier kind of show who controlled this game all in all. Did want to touch on the lines just a little bit, because obviously Burakovsky's still on the top line. What I found interesting was pre-game, or it may have been after last game, I don't remember exactly, but Jeff Blashill kind of talking a little bit more about the philosophies. Basically what he said was he likes kind of matching up these play styles. So each line has kind of different play styles, whether that's more of a give and go game, a dump and chase game. And overall, I like the ideas of and how much Blashill seems to think about these lines and how he's matching these play styles together. But obviously, I just feel like it's a little bit, you can't look at these play styles when some of these just basic stuff, the basic eye test is telling you that Burakovsky's not working. The basic numbers are telling you Burakovsky's not producing like a top line player. I do like how Blashill does think about matching play styles and such, but it's just not working with Burakovsky specifically. But I wanted to bring this up because I do like Blashill's kind of lines idea and how much he thinks about the play styles and how advanced he gets into it. I kind of like this long term. I just don't think it's quite working right now. Another thing that's been very controversial lately, Nick Lard is starting this game on the 4th line. He did get moved up to the 2nd line for the last 40 minutes of this game, which was promising. He was at least a little bit noticeable in the second half of this game just because he was playing with Frank Nazar and Tyler Bertuzzi. Tavo got bumped to the 3rd line, and Landon Slager got bumped down to the 4th line. That's something I would like to see continue here moving forward, getting Nick Lardis some more ice time. I think it's pretty ridiculous that he's been playing on the 4th line. Blashill said recently that he wants Lardis to learn how to play a bottom 6 role kind of, and how to play those minutes, because it's different than being top 6 minutes, and it's hard to get top 6 ice time in the NHL, which may be true, and that may be something, but I feel like that's more something that you would implement a year or 2 from now when you have actual guys filling top 6 spots like a Kantsarov or a Frondell. Right now it's like, you're not really, you have Ryan Green, you have Andre Burakovsky, you have these guys in top 6 spots. It's like there is opportunity to put Lardis up in the top 6. That's what Blashill did today, so hopefully we see that moving forward here. Hopefully we at least can see some guys getting more opportunity down the stretch here. We'll see Anton Frondell's, the game 3 of his 3-game first-round series is tomorrow, so if his team, Djurgården, loses that game tomorrow, Frondell could be in the lineup soon. Sasha Boisvert has been dealing with visa issues, kind of where his work visa still hasn't arrived, so he hasn't been able to play, but he'll presumably play as soon as that issue gets cleared up. So we should have a little bit of injection and hopefully some more opportunity and seeing more of these young guys here down the stretch. Blackhawks sitting now third worst in the standings. They have 64 points in 69 games after tonight's loss. I'm going to get into some takeaways now over on Twitter at Blackhawks Focus, and then we'll get out of here. First one says, expected this tonight. Young D put in the effort. Hate to pile on, but Burakovsky needs to go. Top forwards need to finish. Not the message to send. A young team will be interesting to see how much fourth line room we have for the new prospects. Yeah, the D, especially in a tough spot tonight with Louis Crevier out of the lineup. Crevier and Mangiapane both kind of day-to-day dealing with injuries suffered last night, so that obviously made it a little bit tougher for that D core in this one. The fourth line, I'm interested to see how the Blackhawks handled it, because obviously Mangiapane's was out of the lineup, so they called up Dominic Toninato to fill in today, so he's not really going to be taking up a roster spot. Like a Sam Lafferty, they obviously don't mind scratching him. That makes one spot. Maybe it's a Slaggert or something that's that other scratch that will kind of be interesting to see who they end up scratching once you have Boisvert and Frondel over here. We'll see who gets the top 6 spots as well. I don't know if Boisvert is like a lock-in top 6 guy long term. At least right now, I don't know if that's the case. So I don't know if they're going to give him those minutes right away, especially if you have Nick Lardis up, if you have Anton Frondel up. It's going to be interesting to see what the lineup looks like once everyone is here. Soderblom stood on his head for what it's worth. I definitely think Arvid, like these are the games, like we got to give Arvid a little bit of credit. Everybody likes to pile on Arvid, and this will probably just be long-term another loss that Blackhawks fans use to discredit Arvid. But this was a really strong performance. He played really well. It's going to be tough when you face 50 shots and your team only puts up 20. It's not a recipe for success. I'm ready for playoffs to start so I can truly start thinking about what next year is going to look like. Games like these are hard but necessary, and hopefully will be a thing of the past within the next year or two. Definitely ready to look ahead to next season, especially once we get closer to the draft and such, and we can really start to picture what players are going to be once we get our first looks at Frondel, and we can really envision what the lineup's going to look like next year. I'm right there with you, very ready to talk about that a ton this summer, but these games still can be interesting, and there are still takeaways to be had here down the stretch, even in the last parts of the season. Blackhawks have a matinee game Sunday versus the Predators. That'll be the next one. I'll see you after that game.